Welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. This one is a little bit different. It is a fish. It's called Ponassing a fish. I've never heard it, but I was at one of Mike's bushcraft shows. Luckily out there, it was being displayed how to do it, and instructional. Might be worth you having a look. If you're in a survival situation and the supermarket's shut, it could be the way forward to survive. Well, first you need to get your rainbow trout. You can either catch them or you can get them from the supermarket. Second most important thing is a good fire. You don't want to be cooking over flame, you want to be cooking over embers. And here are some of the bushcraft boys. They're making the hazel sticks, making the hazel wood for the spikes that go into the ground, and also the skewers, which they strip all the bark off, and they're going to be the skewers that they put the meat of the Ponass trout onto. Obviously, it's good fun and it's all bushcrafty stuff. You'll get to play with knives and axes and stuff like that. So, luckily on hand was Dustin, who had procured all these trout for his instructional, and shows you how they're going to be hung on this sort of, I don't know what you even call that, to be honest, a sort of spliced piece of hazel with skewers.
Well, with ponassing fish, it's basically a fancy word for cooking fish on a stick. If you don't really know what I mean, think about a chicken. You can go to the supermarket and you buy a spatchcock chicken, or you can just spatchcock a chicken yourself. Basically, you open up one side of it and it becomes flat, which creates a nice surface area for cooking. We're going to be doing the same thing with trout. We can see these are lovely fresh fish here. There's no coloration to the eye, there's no glaze, there's no frostedness. And that's what you look for in a fish, in a fresh fish. An eye that is clear. And the idea is that you then copy what I'm doing and you recreate it in a few minutes time. So to begin with, as I said, there's three things we need to do: take off the head, the tail, and gut it. If you're not confident, don't be shy, ask me, one of the team, and we will help you to do this. So the first thing we want to do is we want to gut the trout. So starting here at the exit hole, and then going to just use the tip of my knife. I'm just going to run the knife up very gently. You don't want to go in too deep because you don't really want to puncture these guts. And then just lift that out there and you'll see that disconnects. Now we could reach in, pinch it and try and pull it out, this whole section that connects to the back of its throat, but it's quite tough. But what I normally do is I'll turn the trout around, I'll lift up the pectoral fin and go in at an angle like that. Flip it around again and go in at an angle. And what we'll now see is this just falls out. This is what we don't want. However, I've got a few crayfish traps here and there's a big lake down there, so I might put this in the crayfish traps and hopefully wake up with a few crayfish for tomorrow. So these guts, we're just going to place the guts on the table because we don't want them, and we'll just take the tail off. The next stage is we want to get this to this backbone and we want to remove it. Remember, we want to open this and lay it flat, but at the moment it's not quite laying flat. To do that, we just encourage this cut just along there a little bit, only going about halfway. Now is when it really gets a bit fiddly and a little bit messy. So what I like to do with this part is to use my actual fingernails. And if you look closely there, you'll see all these really small ribs. See? Yeah. And as I'm pushing them, they're lifting off. However, I always recommend going this way, going along with the ribs. And as I'm doing it, can everyone see that? If you can't see, try and gather around, because this is a really important part when it comes to trying to remove this correctly. Take your time with this. What we want to do is remove the bones and leave the meat on the fish. That's the trick. So take your time. Again, I'm just using my fingernail and I'm just running it along the back of those bones, and it's just lifting them up, revealing the meat. So it is actually very satisfying. Yeah, that's right. So as I go along like this and follow all the way down to the tail, and the more I do it, the more it will reveal. So again, just going along, my finger like that. See that? What we can then do, flip it over, do the same. Then we'll end up with this rib cage exposed, but it will still be connected down on the main spine of the fish, or the main backbone, I guess. So again, just lift this up using my nail, You can see as I run it along, it just lifts those bones up. And you can see now it's starting to lay, well, a little bit more flat. So we'll just keep going, keep easing it along. I'm just pinching this backbone, this spine. Can you see how that's revealing the bone and leaving the meat on the fish? So you don't really need to, there's not much knife work involved with all this. There we are, clean bones. Again, pot bait, you could also throw it in a stock, you know. So we'll just remove anything that we don't want, like that bit there. Right, what we do now is we take these. So remember, we're gonna have these two skewers like that, and the fish is gonna sit like that, and then a bit of cordage, a bit of string to tie it together. So this stick's actually wider, so I'm gonna put that on the top and that on the bottom, and I want it to come through about there. My technique for this is place your knife onto the chopping board and just lift the fish slightly. Can you see I've just made a small little hole there? Then feed that through, almost to the other side, and then work out, right, through there, lift that corner up. Like that. And we do the same down there. It might be a bit short. If it's a bit short, we'll just get another one and then pinch that. If you hold that there, if you hold that there, I'm now going to tie it with a bit of string. This is what we want to do. This now goes over to the fire for the next 15-20 minutes. Right.
Sea bass or sea bream? Well done, right? Good lad.
It's sea bass that we get a lot of.
Oh, why did I go in the smoke?
I wouldn't want to do a flat. I really ought to fish. I've never fished. It's the start of.
Do you want to give it a quick tap?
Human society, not human being. Good.
Happy?
When we learn to make
Yeah.
do this cooked food,
I'll chuck it pretty much straight on there.
you know, for you to come.
And then when you go, do you like blackberries? Yeah, mushrooms. Good.
Well, I've certainly never heard of a Ponass trout. I mean, I've seen them split apart like that before and cooked. But it's interesting, everybody ate their fish. That tells you it was cooked properly. We'll see you in the next show. Hopefully, I get to catch something big enough that can't ever be Ponassed. Open up this big. We'll see you next time. Don't forget, subscribe button, like button, notification bell, TA Fishing, TA Outdoors, and we'll see you in the next episode.